Hi guys, welcome to Tarot in the Dark. My name is Tori. I know my head is cut off, but I wanted to do something different. I wanted to just come on and show my face so you guys can see all my crazy facial expressions throughout the reading, as well as just familiarize you with me. Like, I know a lot of people think that people are doing AI stuff nowadays and it's confusing, so I wanted to come on and show my face and let you know it's a real person behind the camera. No AI readings over here. But tonight we are going to do a pick a card, and I'm excited to be here. We're just going to do an ancestor message. So your ancestors want you to know this important message, okay? And it's going to be specific to whatever it is that you need to hear in this moment. So let's go ahead and dig in. You guys can also see why, like, my lighting is always giving me hell. And also, thank you for being here. I'm excited about you guys being here. We're almost at 500 subscribers, and I just cannot believe that almost 500 of you would want to hear my little squeaky voice. So thank you guys for being here. I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. For pile number one, what do their ancestors want them to know? All right, so the first card out for pile number one is Air Guardian. Wow, this is powerful. See, I'm excited. I get so excited. Like, as soon as I start the readings, I pull the first card. I'm like, this is awesome. So the Air Guardian energy is about shifting your perspective. Okay, so that's for pile number one. For pile number two, alrighty. For pile number two, we have Earth Mother, feel loved and comforted, I believe is what it says. It's hard to read upside down or backwards, whatever I'm doing. But feel loved and comforted. Wow, guys. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Wow, these energies are powerful. For pile number three, please. All right, we have Spring. See your seeds grow. All right, this is for pile number three. Okay, so I'm going to adjust the camera, zoom in. As you know, if you've watched any of my other readings, I do like to tune my sound bowl. I have it right here. So just beware, if you have headphones in, I recommend turning them down so that it's not too loud. Give me a second to get things situated, and we will tune the sound bowl and allow you to pick your pile. And I'll see you on the other side of the important message that your ancestor wants you to know right now. Hi, pile number one. If you chose the Air Guardian with shift your perspective, these are the messages that your ancestors want you to hear today, okay? So immediately I was hearing that there's something that's misplaced, okay? This could be something to do with your mindset. This could have something to do with you being misaligned. That's coming through, or out of alignment. Okay, there's something misplaced. Something has been put in an area that it's not supposed to be put in. Okay, into the fact that maybe something happened, and when this thing happened, you perceived it as being one way, but it's actually something completely different. Like, the reason behind this happening has to do with something completely different than what you're initially thinking about. There's a very protective energy to your aura, it feels like you're very guarded and protective over yourself due to this thing being misplaced. Okay, it's almost like you're like, oh, watch it, don't come too close, step back, bro. You know, like I don't want anybody getting too close on me because of this perception that you have. Now, I will say they are alluding to the fact that your perspective may have been allowed to be out of place for a period of time due to something needing to take place. Okay, so like maybe you've needed to sit in this energy in order to get you to the place that you're at right now, where they're ready to give you the information that's needed so that your perspective can shift. Okay, so it's almost like, you know how you can sit in like suffering, especially because I see the swamp at the bottom of the deck here. So it's like you could sit in the energy of suffering, agonizing over something, seeing something one way, not feeling like you can shift your perspective, feeling like things are stuck, like you're, you know, just sitting in the energy of pain. And I keep hearing agony, but like it's like you're suffering. You've been suffering for a period of time until they could bring you to this space today to be able to give you the information that is needed in order to push you forward and shift your perspective. I'm seeing the Hangman. So for me, that's always representative of the potential of being too comfortable in a situation that should be uncomfortable for you. And we're all guilty of finding ourselves in these situations. But this is indicative of the fact that your ancestors are saying, now we're ready for you to come out of this. Like now you're ready to shift. You're ready to do something new. You're also ready to come out of the guarded energy. And I'm seeing you like operating more of like from a heart space. Okay. Which is very interesting because I was just sitting here before I started your reading and I was like, I'm burning. Like this light is like burning my little butt and it's hot where I'm at right now. So I'm like, oh, I'm burning. The card that came out for you is the Bridge. And I love this. This is so aligned with what we are speaking to. There's an offering, a hand that is being gifted to you in this moment. It was 333 on the timer when I was saying that too, guys. But there's a hand, a gift, an offering that is being given to you in this moment to assist you with shifting your perspective. And it's almost like this is the right time because I'm seeing this like spark here and it's almost like divine alignment. The stars are aligned for you to receive this. Is the 4 card? Yeah, this is a 4 card. This is also speaking to the fact that it's time for you to come into balance. It's time for this energy to come into balance. For a lot of you, this energy and the perspective has to do with like your thoughts. I think there's thoughts of like needing to protect yourself and keep yourself safe from something due to challenges in the past, but also they're showing fear of being like fear of doing something different, like fear of being the leader, like being the one that has to take charge. So you may have been very guarded and protective over your energy to the point to where you have wanted to keep yourself from experiences that could potentially bring you harm. Because for some of you here, I'm seeing something that has to do with like relationships, partnerships, and connections. And in those connections, they're pushing you to have to step out of your comfort zone because you're being asked to meet someone halfway. And that's fearful for you. It's terrifying because of your past experiences, because you were sitting in that swamp energy where you've kind of just been marinating in your pain, marinating in the past, maybe even. Because there's also like these trees here in the swamp card, and they're, you know, representative of history, right? And it's almost like you could be trying to keep yourself on shore so that this alligator, you know, crocodile doesn't come and get you. So there's something like that. But I just saw a crossroad. So you're at a crossroad And this bridge is going to get you to the other side. It's going to get you to a place where you can feel, because look, supported, the fourth house energy here. This is Cancerian energy. And we're in Cancer season right now when I'm recording this. This is a timeless reading, but we're in Cancer season right now. So something during this season is going to shift for you when it comes to what makes you feel safe and secure. I think that you have found safety and security in your own like doings. So it's almost like you've had to create and establish safety within yourself. But I think the safety that you have created is a safety that doesn't actually allow you to share like partnerships and share yourself with the community. And I don't mean like everybody around you, but I'm saying even in partnerships, it feels like, again, a very guarded energy, like very protective. You're only guarded because you're trying to protect yourself. Wow. You're only guarded because you're trying to protect yourself. Guys, look at this. This is about love, okay? This is fears of, your ancestors want you to open yourself up to love. They have the miracle and the integration cards are here. So they're saying that we are trying to work a miracle on your behalf and bring in desires that you have hidden, okay? You've hidden these desires because of the swamp, the past, right? You've guarded and protected yourself because you've had to. Let's just keep it real. You've had to guard and protect yourself because other people haven't done that for you in the past. And so now your ancestors are like, we need to shift this energy. We got to get you out of here. We're trying to bridge together two souls that are connected, that are supportive, that love each other, you know, intuitively, and that can actually support one another in a very holistic and, you know, an integrated way, right? Like in a way that makes sense. Integration is all about feeling supported, but it's also about feeling supported by those who are like-minded. It's like the Three of Pentacles energy, where you're supported by those who have the exact same mission and purpose as you. You know, someone who is actually going to bring peace and harmony into your life and not cause you harm or chaos or disruption. And so your ancestors are wanting to offer you an experience that gives you support, stability, and that provides you with the security that they know that you need. Because I'm hearing them say, we know you better than you know yourself. So they know your shortcomings, they know your challenges, they know your fears. They also know that this is one of your fears, which is why they're calling it out in this reading to say, hey, like, we see you. We see you, and we also are supporting you on this path. Wow. This is expansion. That's the card that came out, expansion. This is about expanding. This is Sagittarian, Jupiter energy, which I believe is Jupiter going to be in Cancer. Something like that is taking place soon. Something massive is happening with Jupiter either this week or next. But they're speaking to the fact that they're trying to provide you with celebratory experiences. Expand your perception of what safety and security look like, because it's almost like you've found safety and security in yourself, but the perspective shift that they're asking you to see is that that's not actually safety, because you're not actually keeping yourself safe. What you're doing is you're keeping yourself from experiences. You're keeping yourself from being able to dance and, you know, have fire and passion and enjoying life. Like, you're keeping yourself limited. There's limitations when you're not willing to open up beyond yourself, because you can only do so much on your own. And so what they're doing is they're asking you to come out of your safety zone, come out of your safety net, and stretch yourself. Stretch yourself. For some of you, this could also have something to do with like leadership and you being able to actually step out. I don't know. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know why in your reading, your energy, it just like shifted. And it was 11:11 when that happened. It just shifted and I just all of a sudden started getting like exhausting, which for me, when that happens in a reading, it's indicative of the fact that this is something that has been dormant for a while. So it's almost like this energy of you really like being able to like connect with someone romantically, love someone, and feel like harmony, feel at home, feel peace hasn't happened in a while. And I think it hasn't happened because you've been keeping yourself guarded and safe. I think you've been doing a lot of work to, I think you've been doing a lot of work to keep yourself protected from something that could potentially cause you harm. But you know what they're bringing to my attention, this fourth house energy, and it does have, you know, a shadow side of it, which would be repeating patterns, you know, like repeating the patterns that caused you the challenges and the pain in the past. The card that came out for you here is the Ferryman. Okay. I don't know what these cards mean in the deck because I've never read it, if I can be honest with you, but I like to intuitively just pick up on what I pick up on. And this is almost like, it's almost like you would prefer to watch from your window than to experience these things yourself due to fear around what could potentially happen if you jump in the boat. You know, like if you tap into your emotions, what could happen? For you, the fear of that has been keeping you limited and it's been keeping you stuck, and that's what your ancestors are wanting you to come out of. You have this intuitive journaling here, and this was the card that came out. You've noticed I probably have left it there for a while. And the reason why is because I think your ancestors are giving you advice to just write down your feelings. You know, intuitive journaling is all about getting a piece of paper, not having like any forethought, you know, before you start doing anything, just jotting down, just writing how you feel, and allowing yourself to expand your perspective by assessing and viewing the words that you're feeling. And this could be like, say for example, you go out tomorrow and you meet somebody at the grocery store and you're like, wow, he was a nice guy. Come home and journal, you know, or wow, I met this lovely gal at work. Come home and journal so that you can get those emotions out, because I think your ancestors are, you know, just speaking to the fact that your emotions have been trapped. They've been lying dormant because you've been afraid to use them. But there's someone coming in. Someone is coming in to shift this. Someone is coming in to get you out of this energy. I'm hearing it's go time, and they're wanting you to be prepared to move forward and not be stuck in the experiences of the past or the potential risk of moving forward. Because look, the bottom of the deck, guys, you have the Five of Cups here. So this just shows that the past is affecting your now, and you're just being asked to come out of that. You're being asked to come out of that. It's not anything wrong with you. This is a normal process of the bridge, stepping into the new and escaping the old. But the old is still there, right? It's like you can't just get rid of the pain just because you're stepping into something new. You have to work through the energy, and that's what your ancestors are guiding you to do today, is just to work through this, to feel this, to journal these energies, journal and channel these emotions, and just work through it. You know, the Ten of Swords is the card out here. And I want to speak to this first because this Ten of Swords is speaking to the fact that whatever experiences you had in the past, they caused a ton of pain. They were not easy experiences, nor were they things that you want to have to endure again. I mean, when you've had to experience the Ten of Swords pain, you just don't want to do it again. You're like, you know what, I don't think I want to. And that's why you've been terrified to get in this boat, because you're like, if somebody tries me, it's going to be. And so your ancestors are wanting to encourage you that this is over. This is literally in the past, okay? When you conquer a Ten of Swords energy, it's in the past. It's not going to, the same thing is not going to come up again. Now, it could be something different. You know, we know life is life, right? It could be something different, but this Ten of Swords energy is not going to come up again. It's not going to. And it's not going to because you've already conquered it. And so it's a matter of reminding yourself, and I'm going to just set that off to the side. It's a matter of reminding yourself that that Ten of Swords energy is in the past. You are expanding. And as you expand, so does the people around you, or so do the people around you. And what I mean by that is not necessarily that the people around you are going to automatically just grow and mature with you. No, that means that you're going to attract people who are on the same wavelength that you. Let's just put it that way, okay? So you have the Eight of Pentacles here. And then you have the Four of Swords. You have the Ace of Swords. This is that shift in your perspective. The Four of Cups, sorry, I'm going to tell you what they were saying in just a second. The Page of Cups. Here comes that little offering. Dun, dun. And then you have the Temptation, which is the Devil card in this deck. Okay? So, the Devil Temptation card falls right under the Ace of Swords. This is just speaking to the fact that your ancestors are cautioning you to not allow your thoughts to create something that's non-existent, okay? Remembering that that Ten of Swords energy is in the past. It ain't coming back. It's gone. It's finito. It's at the bottom of the swamp, okay? As you integrate into a new perspective, a new way of seeing the world, it's going to be from a lens of one who is no longer pessimistic, because the Four of Cups, that's what I was picking up on with the Four of Cups energy, is this pessimistic energy that you may have been operating in, feeling like this is not a real thing, or that if this happens, that there's a risk that you could get hurt again. That's what we got to figure out how to get you out of. You notice I started yawning again. You guys, I'm telling you, I'm ready to go downhill in your reading. So this has been a while, you know, like this has been a while since you've actually been able to utilize these emotions. I would even go as far as to say, like, based on what your ancestors are showing me, your last relationship that you were in was never... It's almost like, because they're playing Sade in my head, never as good as the first time. So there's something about, like, maybe you haven't felt this type of emotion, this love, the feelings, the butterflies, the, you know, oh my God, this might be the one. Maybe you haven't felt that since you were younger. You know, like, maybe you haven't felt this in years. That's the dormant energy, is that you haven't been able to actually feel this, like, Page of Cups love since years ago. And so because of that, there's just this fear that this is going to potentially cause the same type of pain as the past. But it's important to recognize what they keep telling me is that that's in the past. And they're saying that that Sade song is so significant because they're right. They're saying she's right. It is never as good as the first time. But this is going to be your first time experiencing what they're about to give you. Wow. They are gangsta, y'all. Oh my God. Oh my God. That is like... So they're saying you're right. She's right. It's never as good as the first time. Yeah. So you've never experienced this before. And you've been clearly putting in the work with the Eight of Pentacles here. You've been putting in the work, the Four of Swords. You've been healing. And you know what they were showing me in this Four of Swords card is that, I've never noticed this, but it's like the Four of Swords, there's like an arrow here. And they were saying that during your healing, this is where you have been able to shift the energy. So while you've been waiting, while you've been doing nothing, while you've been praying and hoping and trusting, Spirit and your ancestors have been preparing this offer to come directly towards you. And you know what I think is interesting in this temptation card, which again I mentioned it was the devil, is that this temptation card has treasures here. But the treasures are found outside of the temptation to overthink, overanalyze, rationalize, and justify why this is going to be the worst thing that has happened to you. Or that this is going to go south just like your last relationship. That things never work out the way that you want them to, so why would this? The treasures are not found in your temptation. The treasures are outside of your temptation. And that's the perspective that your ancestors are asking you to shift into. Because the Ace of Swords is representative of forward movement in this card. You see this? There's a unicorn. And this represents forward movement, progression. It's almost like finding the truth and seeking the truth, listening to the truth, accepting the truth is the treasure, not feeding into the temptation. And once you do this, I was seeing this earlier, the Uranus energy here. This is swift, quick movement, but this is also the energy of Aquarius, and that is where your mind is tripping you up right now. Or it has been tripping you up. It's almost like your mind is trying to convince you as to why this relationship and this person is not good. Like why you shouldn't get in this boat. And your ancestors are saying, actually, there's a miracle if you get in the boat. But it's going to require that you let go of these outdated, you guys know that's my favorite way to say this, these outdated, thoughts, your outdated perception that things can't get better, that there aren't any loyal people anymore. And that your heart can never be mended. That's coming through heavily. They're just talking about that. There's something about believing that your heart can't be mended because it's too shattered, it's too broken, it's too off. You've been too wounded. You're too old. Like, oh, I've gone through so much. There's no way I could ever find love again. And your ancestors are saying that's not the truth. That's not the truth because you are love. And if you are love, you're going to attract that same frequency. They want you to feel safe and secure in the arms of another. That's something that they're also mentioning. They're mentioning the fact that the safety and security that you can provide to yourself is completely different than what somebody else has to offer you. And so they want you to be open to accepting what it is that someone else has to offer you because they're saying it's going to be worth it. Man, this is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful reading. I'm going to go back to the intuitive journaling here. They're showing me the African violet, and there's something about the African violet which represents history. So your ancestors could be of like African descent, or maybe they have, a connection to Africa. But also they were speaking to the fact that there's a negative connotation to African violets where people think, oh, this is for like old people, or like, because like grandmas usually have them. They're like, oftentimes they have like purple flowers and stuff attached to them. But what they're showing is that there's something very royal about this connection that your ancestors are offering you, meaning it's something that's been divinely orchestrated. It's not just a regular connection. It's a connection that's going to feed your creative energy and support you in your independence on your path towards, your ability to integrate and reconnect with someone. Okay, so something like that. This is like a reintegration. This is the way that it was supposed to be. Okay. I think we can end your reading there. I hope that this provided you with clarity in regards to your situation. I hope that this gave you some type of answers. I hope it made sense. I'm always like, does it make sense? It's a little different when being on the camera and stuff too. So you guys, noses running and all kinds of other stuff. Anyways, guys, thank you guys for tuning in. Thanks for being here. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. And I don't know if I'm gonna do this setup again because it's hard for me to like figure it out, but let me know in the comments if you like this setup or my standard where you can only see the cards. I love to hear from you guys. I appreciate you being here. I hope you have the most amazing night. Take the risk. because Barbara, or whoever this is on the other side, is going to be fantastic for you. Have a good night, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye. Hi, pile number 2. If you chose the Earth Mother with feel loved and comforted, this is the reading that your ancestors want you to hear, and these are the messages. If I could get my words out. Guys, clearly I ain't good at this. I don't know how to get the camera to focus, but hopefully you can see. Immediately what your ancestors were coming through with is they want you to feel more balanced and have more peace in your life. Okay, that's the immediate thing. I think you're going through a deep spiritual transformation in this moment. I feel like you've been doing a lot of healing, a lot of like regeneration, that type of energy. I also think that there's been a lot of growth and maturity in you. Okay, it's almost like you've been flowering or blooming, creating anew. So you may be, I don't know, people call them star seeds or something along those lines, but you may have had to die to an older version of yourself, and it definitely feels like in this moment your ancestors want you to rest. They want you to have peace, and they want you to begin to just think about it's like they don't want you to do too much over analyzing, overthinking things. It's like they want you to right now just be still in the moment and embrace where you're heading, because it's almost like this is the calm before the storm. Like things in your life are going to begin to pick up. If you have a creative endeavor or something spiritually that you've been investing in, that's going to blossom. It's going to begin to just sprout. It's almost like this baby that you've been pregnant with. So you've been pregnant with this spiritual baby, this spiritual gift. And it's like that is getting ready to be birthed out of you. And so right now they want you to just stop and pour into yourself. You're going through massive changes. You already have been, and I'd say you probably have been going through these things for at least the last 1.5 to 3 years, okay? I would give that time frame. That's what it feels like to me. So this Synergy card is here, okay? This is the first card out. So let's just stop here, and I want to read it. It says, the frequency of synergy supports our allowance and acceptance of not so obvious, never seen before combinations and unions that result in new ways of functioning, working, thinking, relating, loving, and being. It reminds us to embrace the unfamiliar so that new yet exciting co-creations can give birth to a new reality. Yeah. So it's like for you, I think you're so used to like movement that you may have a tendency to want to, in this moment, just keep activating. But there's something about like energy shifting in you. Like I'm hearing DNA activation. Okay? So there's something about that taking place, or something shifting within you while you're resting. And your ancestors want you to know that even while you're resting, your spiritual being, the spirit man or spirit version of you is still actively moving and progressing. And so they're asking you to stop. There's heavy energy here in regards to overdoing and really, really, really being cautioned of the significance and the importance of you just doing nothing. And they're wanting me to just give you a little bit of something that they had to teach me, that doing nothing is something. I know. It's like, what? Yeah, it is. When you're doing nothing, you're doing something. When you're a spiritual being, you have to take more opportunities to do nothing, because that is a whole lot of something for a spiritual being. And so there's just an ask here that you stop and pause and allow yourself to just embrace the because you know what they're showing me? They're showing me like the depths. It's like a scorpionic energy, and it talks about the enigma in one of my other cards. It's like the enigma of like the sitting in the nothingness and in the dark, and you're just wondering, like, is there anything around me? Like, what's happening? You know, and how that can be so disturbing. Like, you know how some people have a very hard time like sitting in silence? They can't not talk. If you're one of those people, your ancestors are wanting you to learn how to just do nothing. Okay? So the card you have out here is the 8th house energy, okay? And this is scorpionic energy. This is about your personal power, the mysteries of life, and a major change. Wow, we were just talking about those things, right? You know, like sometimes your ancestors are just bringing this to my attention. Sometimes we can feel like doing nothing can put us in a state of panic, because without doing, we don't feel the significance and the importance of our being. It's like you kind of may look for a way to justify your nothingness, and your ancestors are wanting you to not do that. I'm going to take that. Let me just see if anything else wanted to come out. That's too many, guys. Okay, so that's the card. There's also something about your thoughts coming through, overwhelming thoughts when you're not doing anything. That could lead you to, maybe you're one of those people that, you know, I'm guilty of doing this, but maybe you're one of the people in the world that thinks like, I need to be healing all the time. I need to be working on myself all the time. I can't not do anything. And they're saying like, you know, synergy is just allowing yourself to just work with things that may not seem like they're anything, you know? Because the not so obvious would be like a nothingness, and you're just like, I totally have to be doing something, and they're like, no. Because this clock here that came out for you, immediately what I heard was that this is what you keep yourself on, is like a time clock. Like you gotta be go, 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 go. When was the last time you heard the birds chirping? Like, when was the last time you were attentive to the birds that were flying past you? Because that's how I got myself out of this, the rat race. Out of the doing, and, you know, not being satisfied with life because of my doing. You guys, the cards are just confirming and confirming. Look at this, tangled thoughts here. Oh, I need to cover her up. Girl, I didn't know you had that. Sis. So tangled thoughts, there's something in your mind that's keeping you trapped. For someone here, especially with this card coming out here, this creativity blooms. For someone here, you could have writer's block or creative block, a creative block of any kind. And your ancestors are saying, we need you to just bask in the unknown, because that's how you can regenerate or regrow. You know, they're showing me a cactus here, and the cactus die in the winter time, like they become dormant, but I don't know if all cactus do that, but I believe some do. But also they're saying that in the springtime they'll bloom. And so there's something here about you recognizing that there are seasons for everything. There's a time to rest, a time to move, a time to do nothing, a time to rush, like, you know, a time to go. There's go time, there's pause, stop, go, just like the lights slow down. And for you right now is a period of slowing down, because there's something hidden in the mystery of the nothingness. And I think that's what you're probably not catching. And I think that's why your ancestors are bringing you to this reading, is to assist you with this. It could have something to do with you learning more about yourself, because you have the Echoes card here. And this Echoes card has to do with like ancient history. It's about culture, your roots, your customs. So maybe there's something that your ancestors want to speak or breathe into you during this downtime. And if you're not down, then you would not catch it. So for someone too, you may notice that you maybe have not been feeling good lately. Like maybe you're just super low energy. And this has happened to me sometimes where I'm just like, I'm burnt out. I could just be doing readings and then I'm just like, oh my God, I'm so tired. And it's because I need to receive something. But I don't usually think about that until I'm laying down, and then I'm like, oh my God, you've been trying to show me that? And they're like, duh, you wouldn't listen, girl, you know? So maybe that's happening with you, where your ancestors are trying to echo something to you. And you know, think about an echo. If there's an echo, you know, I don't have my sound bowl, but if there's an echo is going to be more silent than the original sound, right? So there's something about the original volume, like maybe the sound of your ancestors, their voices, maybe you can't hear them. You can't hear them because there's these tangled thoughts in the way. It's like there's too much energy going on in your head. And so they're trying to shut your system down. Like they're trying to put you in sleep mode, like the computer. They're trying to put you in sleep mode to get you to sit in the dark in this scorpionic energy so that they can show you what it is that they want you to see. You could be waiting on something like, oh, this has to be the time where I'm going to get this. And they're like, no, it's found in the darkness. It's found in the echoes. And I do think this has something to do with you figuring out and learning more about like who you are and your purpose. There's also something being brought to my attention here about a promise, something that has been promised to be gifted or given to you. Because you have this gifted card with fertility, creativity, growth, and space. And you see this rainbow here? The rainbow is showing up to say that there's a promise, something that's been given to you. It is yours. But your challenge is receiving it. And the challenge in receiving it is because it's requiring that you stay still and synergize. It's almost like they're wanting to integrate, bring together the balanced version of you with your ancestors. You could also have a team that doesn't necessarily like pour out and just speak to you without you being in this balanced state. There's a guy that I watch on YouTube. His name is Mooji, Mooji, yeah. And he teaches a lesson called like the power of now or something like that. You may want to watch something like that just to help you to be balanced in your emotions. Okay, that's what we're going to take. See this Two of Swords energy here? This is also confirming, this is at the bottom of the deck, this is also confirming that there's something that you're not seeing due to your thoughts. Due to your thoughts. You have the Ace of Wands here with the Nine of Wands. Ooh. Okay. The King of Cups. I'm going to tell you your message. They're telling me, they're like, boop, boop, boop. Okay, the Sun. Woohoo. And the Page of Cups. So there's something here about burnout. Not being able to receive due to burnout. You know what they were showing me was those like solar panels, and how the solar panels are supposed to like bring in more of the sun so that they can use it. That's synergy. I'm going to take something that is out here and I'm going to pull it in so that I can use it for something that's not so obvious, right? Like, it's not obvious to people that the solar panels in the parking lots are used for, you know, like energy in other areas, right? We're pulling the sun in so that we can use that energy somewhere else. And so there's something here for you about your restlessness, your lack of energy, your inability to feel like you can create or use your gifts in the way that you desire are due to like burnout. And your team is like asking you to be still. The Nine of Wands is representing how exhausting it is for you, how exhausting life is, how exhausted you are as a whole, just exhausted. And so it's almost like they're saying that what we want to do is bring you to a place of peace, of calm, so that you can feel the love and the comfort from us and fill your cup up. With the King of Cups, this is an energy of one who is emotionally aware, mature. So it's almost like they're trying to bring you into a state of emotional maturity through the avenue of rest. And what that's going to do is turn your, they're just saying this flat out, it's going to turn your dreams into reality. Okay, because whatever it is that you want to do creatively, it's a dream, something that you've always desired to do, like even as a child with this Page of Cups here. And it's something very, you know, like this saying, if people don't laugh at your dreams, they're not big enough. It's something like that. It's like you really want to do this, but your mind just can't wrap around how you can make it happen. And you're not going to be able to make it happen because you're physically exhausted, spiritually exhausted. It's like you're depleted. So what you're being asked to do, and your advice from your ancestors, is to find space to calm your energy down. Reconnecting with the earth would be really, really beneficial to you. Going outside, putting feet in the grass, swimming, putting your feet in the ocean, being able to go to, you know, places where there's dirt, sand, things like that. Anything like that would be beneficial for you. The more sunshine you can absorb, please don't get sunburned, because I don't want anybody getting jacked up on my watch. But please don't get sunburned. Wear your sunscreen. Doesn't matter what your ethnicity is. Sunscreen. Put your sunscreen on. Protect yourself. Go out in the sun. And this is going to teach you how to receive, because there's also something about your gifts that your ancestors are speaking to in regards to you needing to be in a space of receptivity in order to be able to receive it. So you may be like touching the surface of your gifts, but you're not actually tapping into them completely, and it's because of this depleted energy. You definitely need rest. A vacation would be nice if you can afford to do that, but something not so obvious, something that is very basic is how I want to say it. It's something very basic, mundane, normal, regular, schmegular stuff that is the access to you going further into your gifts and being able to make your dreams a reality, as they stated a little bit ago. It could be something as simple as being present in the now and not seeking anything else. It could be something as simple as letting your guard down, releasing the need to control the expectations, the narratives, the how things happen, when, the time frame of when they're going to happen with the clock here, and instead just simply relaxing in the now. Relaxing in your emotions, into your emotions, like feeding into that energy. And there's also something that they're bringing up about releasing the old. Like literally releasing the old. Like, that's the old me. I'm not that anymore. And pouring into yourself. They're giving you a lot of tips, guys. But pouring into yourself, anything self-love related is going to be beneficial. because I'm seeing your gifts wanting to shine through. And I honestly would go as far as to say that you probably have gifts that will be publicly recognized with the Sun and the Ace of Wands here and the King of Cups. I see the King of Cups as like a popular teacher, guru, because the King of Cups is, if you know any King of Cups, you know that they always have something to say that is transformative, you know? And so it's like once you get into this synergy, you're going to recognize that things just begin to work for you, because they're showing me the Eight of Wands as well in my mind's eye. All right, pile number 2. I hope that this resonated with you. I hope that you received a message from your ancestors. I thank you so much for being here. I hope you are doing well and have the most amazing night. If you feel like it, please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know if you like this setup or if you prefer the other. I don't know about this because honestly, this light is burning my little butt, and I don't know, it's just weird being on here like this. But anyways, love y'all. Bye. Have a good night. Bye. Pile number 3. If you chose the spring card with See Your Seeds Grow, this is the reading for you, and these are the messages from your ancestors. So right away, I heard take the leap. Okay? There's something here that your ancestors are supporting you in, and it's some type of growth. Okay? This feels to me like the energy of Sagittarian, which is expansive energy. It's Jupiter energy, but it feels like this is a push out of your comfort zone, something that is unfamiliar for you, uncomfortable for you, and has been a challenge for you to overcome. So let's kind of dig in and see what we can figure out. Ooh, cosmic flower. Okay, I'm gonna read this. Okay, the cosmic flower frequency activates our remembrance of the place we call home. Ooh, the core from which we pour our magnificence out into the world. Yeah, this is like doing what I'm doing tonight, putting yourself out there, doing something uncomfortable, but knowing that it's going to pay off big time for you. Okay, this is going to be beneficial to you. Okay, look, Leo's at the bottom of the deck. Have the confidence in yourself. Pile number 3. Your ancestors want you to be confident enough to create. And you see what this says? Taking a chance on. Okay? Resulting from the impressiveness of you. Pile number 3 are meant to stand out. What are you waiting on? Get your butt up and go. And this is going to be an obstacle because it's something that's uncomfortable. It's something you haven't done before. But as you step out, oh my gosh, I was going to say this. This 11th house energy says freedom, okay? I was going to say as you step out, you're going to find yourself feeling more and more free because you're going to be able to stand up as your authentic self. Right? There's no more hiding behind a mask or a camera or some identity that is truly not aligned with you. And this cosmic flower, before I read the card, what I was thinking about was this is opening you up to a whole new world, like giving you opportunities and experiences that you didn't know were even accessible and available to you before, when you were stuck in that little, coop or whatever. Because that's how they're showing this. All right. I'm like, I don't know what's going on here. The cards didn't want to come out because they were showing that little rabbit in the spring card as like a little bunny that's like, oh, do I have to leave the nest or do I have to leave the home? It's not a bird. I don't know why I'm talking about nest, but it's like you could be afraid to step out because this is so different than what you've seen anyone around you do. But your gifts are meant to support and serve others. And I think they're powerful. I just think you're not actually seeing the leader and the abilities that you have. And it's due to some type of thought process, like some type of identity that you've attached to that seems to be an identity that is manipulated you into believing that taking risk like this aren't going to pay off. Because you know what they're showing me is like someone whose dad was a musician, and then like the mom has a son. The son wants to be a musician. The mom's like, your dad tried that and it didn't work for him. It's not going to work for you. So it's almost like there's something in regards to your circle, the people who have been around you that haven't been aligned to your purpose, and they may shun it down, shush you, tell you that it's insignificant. Nobody ever makes it anywhere doing something like that. And your ancestors want to let you know that you're the one who's going to break free and actually make something of yourself. But it's going to require that you take a risk. And with this risk, it's going to potentially tick some people off. But not only that, it's going to feel very challenging because you're doing something that you've never seen done before. And you're also doing something that may detach you from people that you love. But your ancestors are wanting me to tell you that with this 11th house energy, they are going to bring a new circle of support and friends and community members, like-minded individuals that will support your gifts and allow you to be your authentic self without shying away from, fully being able to be yourself and express yourself without fear. Okay, so if you lose anybody, your ancestors will replace them. That's a part of the message, very clear. You have the wolf energy here. And this wolf energy is just showing up as you being a leader. Like, you see how determined this wolf is? I hope you can see this. You see how determined the wolf is and how he has his eye set on a mission and a prize, and he's going to go after this. He's going to go after this. He's got his bow, his arrow, and he's determined to win. And he's going to win. He's going to succeed, and so are you. When you step out off of this cliff, you're going to recognize that when you look down, you don't know, if you're going to make it or not. If you look down off a cliff, you're like, am I going to even survive? But your ancestors are saying that taking that leap and stepping out with your end goal in mind is going to provide you with success and victory. Wow, that's powerful. It's like, be the star, pile number 3. Be the star. Wow, you're not going to believe this card. Be the star that you are. Look at this bottom deck energy. I want to speak to this first with boundaries. I love this boundaries card because you'll notice that she's buried, right, underneath the ground, in the weeds. And it's because she's so deeply rooted in who she is that she's unshakable and unmovable, that there's nothing on the other side of this wall that's going to detach her from the boundaries that she's established. And I think that's such a great depiction of how we should see boundaries, because that's exactly what your ancestors are advising you to do, is to establish boundaries when it comes to your identity and who you are, and don't allow anyone or anything to come in and to push you off of standing in that individual power. Okay, because the thing that makes you so special, pile number 3, is the fact that you're you, and there's no one else like you. Like, nobody else has a thumbprint like yours. Nobody else talks like you. Nobody else looks like you. Nobody else has the hair that you have. Like, everything about you is unique. It's special. Your gifts, and it's special because there's nobody else like you. So that makes each and every one of us special in our own way. We can't replicate or duplicate you. And your gifts are no different. They are beautiful gifts that are meant to be shared with the world. And that can mean whoever in the world. So on social media, you can share your gifts with the world. There's no limits, is what your ancestors are saying. And they're just wanting me to stress the importance of that there's no limits to what you can and can't do. The only limits are you. So like the wolf, you're either going to keep yourself stuck from jumping off that cliff, or you're going to jump off the cliff not knowing what's going to happen and just trusting and hoping that these amazing blessings are yours. Because guess what, pile number 3? They are. Your ancestors are showing up to say the blessings are yours. It's just going to require that you collaborate with your team to get there. You know, they're showing me this card. It's an oracle card, and it says your guides can take you to it, but they can't do it for you. And that's what's coming through here, is that you have been given the opportunities that are necessary to get you to the next phase in your life. And I'm not confident that this is just about spiritual gifts. This feels to me, or like your gifts in general. I think all gifts are spiritual, but anyways, I think this is more about you seeing your seeds grow by you just taking the leap and moving towards something that is risky for you. And that can be anything, right? This could be getting a new job. This could be moving to a different city, state, or country. This could be dyeing your hair a different color and saying, you know what, I'm going to just do this. And I don't know if anybody in church is going to like it, but I don't care. You know, whatever the risk is for you, this is stepping out and doing something that's uncomfortable for you. Or maybe that people wouldn't expect you to do. Like me, nobody would expect me to read tarot, but they don't have a clue. I'm over here reading tarot all day. No, I'm just joking. Guys, I'm just a little crazy. This is probably why I shouldn't show myself on the camera. So the card out here is healing, which is about cleanse, hydrate, dissolve, and purify. And you know what I think your ancestors immediately want to speak to you about is dissolving the identity that doesn't align with where you are now and where you really want to be. Like who you really want to be. And that's been coming out a lot. You know, I think that's interesting because I don't have my book by to get it, but is Saturn in Aries? I think Saturn is in Aries. So with Saturn being in Aries, guys, if not, it's going back into Aries at some point this year. With Saturn being in Aries, we are going to all be challenged with being ourselves, stepping out, being your authentic self, and not being afraid, okay? So you're getting like a jump start into this. And this is coming up a lot around this time. Because we have so many like energetic shifts, we're moving into this new age of Aquarius, and we're all being invited to take advantage of, are you going to be yourself, or are you going to keep hiding behind this mask of somebody who isn't satisfied with life? You know, like there's no freedom in that. Your ancestors are offering you freedom here because they recognize how powerful you are, but they also recognize how you have been like suffering, right? Like you've been suffering in just not being free to be all of you all the time. I'm also seeing someone maybe like do something like this. Like maybe you during the day are one thing, but then at night you switch and you do something completely different. I don't know why they're showing me the Players Club, but like during the day she like went to college and then at night she was a stripper. I don't know. Maybe that's you. I don't care. It's no judgment. I don't care what you're doing. But anyways, the card's out. It's just showing like the drastic shift, you know, like going to college and then you just are like stripping at night and nobody knows, you know, and that's just kind of the drastic like shift between the two careers. Okay, so the first card out here is recognition and rewards. Love this. Okay, and then you have power. This is the strength card. Okay, and you see the two masks here. This is also kind of what we were just talking about. Two different people, but powerful as heck. And then you have the Eight of Cups here with the emotional withdrawal. Then you have the Ace of Wands. Oh my gosh, guys. There's a lot of energy around like igniting new passion within us as a collective. And then you have the Two of Pentacles, which would be like the waiting game. It's like the Two of Pentacles, I guess we could call it that. Wow. And then you have the Three of Cups with partnerships and alliances. Wow. Wow. So for someone here, you may have had to walk away from, ooh, no. You could have already done this, but walking away from the community, people, friends, families, marriages, whatever relationships, it's painful for you to think about because you're not sure if on the other side of this you are going to be able to connect with people. This strength card here with the waiting game, this would be the Two of Wands. The waiting game is about making a decision to allow yourself to sprout and having the strength to be able to move in that. You know, someone could be investing in something, but you could have been investing in something in the dark, and now it's like, now I got to put myself out there. Now people are going to know that it's me that's doing this. You know, like something like that is coming through. This rewards and recognition with the passion ignited. It's almost like your ancestors are saying, we're trying to give you gifts for the work that you've been doing, but it's going to require that you take a leap of faith and dissolve any identities attached to this not being okay or valid or acceptable, you know? Very interesting. I don't necessarily know like all of the ins and outs or specifics about this because it keeps showing me like different stories, because they're also showing me someone who is a part of the LGBTQ plus IA community who has to come out. And it's like you're standing at the edge and you're like, oh my God, like I just want to be free from this because I've been holding this in my whole life. Trust me, if you are, they already know. They already know you are. Just tell them. And I know it's much easier said than done. I'm not minimizing the fact that that's very hard to do. I can't imagine. But I am saying that there's blessings in you being your authentic self. And I think one of the major blessings in just being able to be yourself it's that you will find out who is and isn't in your life, and then when you are able to remove the people that are not supposed to be there, there's a weight that's lifted from you due to the fact that you no longer have to carry yourself in a very specific or particular manner in order to appease them, but that you can just be all of you. And I know this because I've had to obviously go through this, right? Like there have been people who don't want me to do tarot, who think I'm, whatever, loony or whatever for doing tarot. I actually almost didn't even make it with my fiance because I did tarot, because in his religious practices, it's just not something that's acceptable. And so, and then he and I, our religious beliefs are different, but there's freedom in knowing that you can be loved like wholeheartedly. I'm like, what's the word? You can be wholeheartedly loved when you're your authentic self. And it's because you learn to love yourself. When you step into the power of authenticity, it doesn't matter outside of you who doesn't accept, because you've had to cross so many barriers. This strength card is so, like, the weight of this card is not even being shown in this reading. And I'll tell you why. When you have to step in your power and carry strength to be able to stand on your own, regardless as to what other people feel about you, there's a strength that gets created within you that is like indescribable. Okay? There's like no one in the world that could tell you that you can't do anything when you tap into this power, because you recognize that everything that you've ever needed has always been within you. And so it creates and establishes this identity within you that doesn't allow anyone or anything to come in and to cause disruption. And so for you, I think your ancestors really want you to recognize that there's a power and a freedom that you haven't been able to tap into, and you won't tap into until you recognize and accept yourself, like completely, wholly. There's also just a heads up that there's a gift here, that your blessings are on the other side of you accepting all of you, as well as partnerships and alliances that are aligned to you, which they mentioned that earlier with the 11th house energy. I think something too that you probably will recognize is that the people that you've been keeping in your life may not have been all that great anyways. Like, I think that kind of happens to most of us when we're like, oh my God, I cannot live without this person. And then you leave that person and then you're like, yeah, I don't even care. You know, initially it's like, oh my God, my life's going to come to an end. Nothing is going to go great. It feels like this Five of Pentacles energy of obstacles and challenges. But then when you get to the other side, you're like, oh my God, that wasn't even that bad. And so I think that's the energy that your ancestors are encouraging you to just keep yourself in. Being motivated by the fact that this is an in-between stage. The waiting game for you is representing that. It's just an in-between stage in your life. And that as you move forward, yes, it's going to be painful. I'm not going to lie to you. It's going to be painful. You are going to feel isolated, abandoned. You're going to feel all of the alls. However, as you work through those emotions, through those energies, through those pains, you're going to recognize your own power, and that's where the rewards and the recognition come in. Not only that, that's when you can get active with your creative endeavors, and then the blessings flow from there, guys. I mean, godly. This is amazing. I love this reading for you. This is so fantastic. I'm like, oh my God, this is it's like so amazing. And it's honestly just so peaceful, like being in this energy of freedom and no longer being bound by the rules and restrictions of society. I love this. This is my type of reading, pile number 3. I hope this resonated with you. I'm so thankful for you. I thank you for being here. Feel free to drop a comment. Let me know if you like this setup or if you want me to go back to my old school top-down view. Even though my lighting, you can see what my lighting be getting on my nerves. It's huge. But anyways, I thank you guys for being here. Feel free to subscribe if you haven't already. I appreciate you so much, and I hope you have the most amazing night. I'll see you next time. Bye.